Welcome into Behind the Brand podcast. I'm your host, Adam Hayes with Hayes Group Marketing, hayesgroupmarketing.com. To my right is my co-host, Bob Payden with BPG Group, bobpayden.com. To my left is Sundaresh with ANSA Solutions. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Good finally having you on.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 years.
Probably more, man.
Yeah, Bob said, hey, you don't know Sundaresh? I got to get him in here. You got to meet him.
Yeah.
What better way than to do it through podcast, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about you. What's your background? You know, what the evolution and how you ended up here at ANSA Solutions.
Well, it's a long story. I have done all kinds of things, right? So I started my career in sales. Then I went into manufacturing. I used to make garments and exported to the U.S.
So what kind of garments?
Shirts.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a long time ago.
This is my shirt.
I don't even.
Is it cut okay?
I don't even know this part, so I'm discovering
you don't know this. Then I went into teaching computers. I did that for a few years. But then I came to the U.S. I did programming. And then, so I was with a company called ADP. Some of you may know it as a payroll company.
Yes.
Right.
But when I joined ADP had 5 divisions. It had payroll, claims processing, dealer services, brokerage, and one more. So I was in the dealer services division. So we did soup to nuts. If you had enough money, you want to start a car dealerships, ADP will take care of everything except the car.
Really?
Wow. So the financing and all that stuff, or
Not the finance,
the
the
actual-
technology, the setup, the setup, right? The software, phone systems, printers, and all that. Okay. So I was with ADP for 15 years. I moved all over the country with ADP. So I started in Portland, Oregon, went to Texas, went to Wisconsin, Florida, and then finally ended up back in Texas before I left ADP in 2012. So I joined in 1998 is when I joined ADP. I left in 2012. I came to Indianapolis, joined Primo. That after I joined, turned out it was not a good fit for both of us. So we chose to part ways amicably. And then I started my franchise, selling oil, vinegar, and spices.
Okay.
Did that for 3 years at the Hamilton Town Center. Okay.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That part I know.
Yeah, you know.
I remember hearing this. Yeah.
That's at that time also. So I was I was working at NGS or Anthem. My wife was running the store. Then I quit NGS and we shut down the store at the same time. And that's the same time, literally the same day, same month. And then I joined Kinney Group to run the professional services for the Splunk practice. Did that for a few years. And I went back to government contracting. And then in January with the whole, executive order.
Changing government.
Efficiency. The department. I was given an option to either relocate to Baltimore or
Baltimore.
that area, DC, Virginia. I chose not to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I decided to start on my own.
It sounds like you put a whole bunch of stuff in a blender, right? So
and I forgot to blend it though.
So what was kind of the theme? That you've had all these different experiences, but there's some kind of theme there that's kind of interweaved to kind of make you who you are.
Yeah, that's I think the theme has evolved over time, right? Eventually, I think what I've come to realization is I just like to solve problems with technology. Right? Any problem, I like to solve with technology, and that's what I did. That is what is common across many of the past careers that I've had. And so this is a perfect fit, right? So I partnered with this company called Workato. They're based out of California, and they have an amazing platform. It helps companies streamline their operations, automate the operations, basically decouple growth from overhead, right? So you can grow much faster than adding headcount or any other kind of overhead.
Yeah, they came in 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and did a workshop in county, and they got to walk through it, and we all walked away like, oh, wow. I mean, the kind of the downsized versions of Zapier, whatever you want to call it, right? That's kind of the simple.
Yeah, that's a poor man's Workato.
Correct.
Zapier is
Yeah. So if you're a larger enterprise that has multiple systems, literally they were doing things on the fly, demonstrating it live as we were just sitting there, right? So it's very, I would call it at that level user friendly. They've taken all the the hard crap that nobody wants to do and made that simple. And
so is it geared towards process automation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So then how do you point it towards the problems of your specific business? How do you make it apply? Because every business has a little bit unique, challenges and problems.
Yeah.
So how do you point it or focus the laser at a particular problem in a particular business for that?
So Workato is a platform, right? So you have to, for every implementation, every client, you have to tailor it for the client's needs.
Okay.
Right. So the platform has been designed, I think it's been designed really, really smartly, right? So there are several layers. First, the most important layer is the foundation, which is there are about 12,000 different systems that have connectors. But the platform has connectors to over 12,000 systems. Okay. So if you have a business and you're using, on an average, a mid-sized business, that mid-size is like 200 employees, has about 67 systems.
Right.
And they don't talk to each other.
They don't even know.
They don't necessarily talk to each other.
Right.
Yeah, they don't even know.
Right.
Many a times, only the CFO knows how many systems they have. Right?
He's paying the subscription.
Because he's paying the subscription, right?
Right.
So Workato probably already has a connector to those systems, right? And when I say connectors, it means two things. One is it knows how to talk to the system, but it also knows how to execute transactions in the system, right? The transaction that is specific to the system. So if you take Salesforce, for example, it's because it's a very common platform, almost everybody has it, right? Or it feels like it. You have to enter a lead, you have to enter a prospect, you have to update the lead, you have to update the prospect, you have to move it from one state to another state. Workato knows how to do all those things, right? Workato knows how to instruct Salesforce to provide the information to create a lead and everything, right? So similarly, Workato knows how to talk to, let's say, your email system. So in a very simple example, you can receive an email from a prospect, right, that says, hey, I'm interested in your product. Today, what you'll do is you'll pull up your email, copy all that information, paste it in the CRM.
Right.
And I mean, most people will copy and paste the absolute bare minimum.
Yes. Email.
Just
name.
so they can hit save.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No one cares to spend the time to fill in all that.
Address.
Whereas with Workato can automatically monitor your email. When it sees, oh, Adam Hayes has sent me an email, it says, okay, it'll extract the data, transform it to whatever format Salesforce wants it in, and it'll fill in the data. Now, if you want to get it more sophisticated, right, Workato can talk to some LLM like ChatGPT and then say, hey, Adam Hayes is interested. Tell me a little more about Adam Hayes. ChatGPT will give the history of Adam Hayes. You'll take that information, add it into Salesforce, right? So now you have a full-blown lead with a lot of information.
It's already been researched.
So without you doing anything.
So it's all curated now in Salesforce.
In Salesforce.
Yeah.
Or whatever CRM system you're using, right? It doesn't have to be Salesforce.
But like Salesforce, for instance, if that business is using Salesforce, then the system will, digest all the API so it knows what all the interface is.
That's correct.
And what all the custom fields are and all
That's
that.
correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So that's the foundation layer, right?
Okay.
So you can do that with 12,000 such systems like Salesforce. Oracle, SAP, NetSuite, the most large enterprises use these systems. On top of that, now, once you have these integrations, it can do RPA, that is robotic process automation. Mm-hmm. Robotic process automation is a very common, there's a tool that's available. UiPath is probably one of the front runners in RPA, which can communicate between user interfaces, right? So there's a UI, you pull in data from here, there's another UI, like a website. You want to go to some website, scrape out information, and then paste it in Salesforce.
Right.
That's robotic process automation, right? So today companies have tools for RPA, tools for API, a separate tool for data layer orchestration, and there's a separate tool for data management.
So they still have to manually.
Now they have 4 additional tools to make these 67 tools talk to each other. So 67 becomes 71. Whereas Workato is one platform; it can do all 4 and more.
Right.
So this is the second layer. So you have all these connectors to the 12,000 different systems. Now you can use those connections to communicate either through the UI or API or direct database. And then on top of it, now they have an agentic layer. So now you can write your own agents, autonomous agents, which will use one of these tools if needed,
right,
to connect to the systems to perform whatever function you want to perform.
Right. But now it can see across your entire organization.
Now you can see across the entire
because it's not siloed information.
It is not siloed information.
Okay.
Right. And it's more proactive than reactive, right?
Yeah. It is very proactive. Right.
Does it make suggestions? Does it sit back and watch and make suggestions? Hey, we've observed for 30 days, here's some agents that might help you.
Yeah. So I was in Vegas, I was for the conference, right? So they had their annual conference in Vegas this past week. And they demonstrate. So Workato uses these, they call them genies. They don't call them agents. Workato uses genies to run their business. Right, so it's not only something that they're offering to people; they're eating their dog food. Own That's dog good. Food, and they demoed that live on stage. Obviously, they had hiccups, like the Wi-Fi didn't disconnected and all that. But they showed in real time what happens. Right, it was not a PowerPoint presentation. It was not a pre-recorded presentation. They showed real time what happened. They showed a few genies. They showed a CPQ one, which I thought was very cool, right?
What's that?
The coding process, right? Once you get a request from a customer, he'll go talk to your SAP, he'll talk to your NetSuite, he'll talk to whatever, get in all the information, he'll go talk to the government website, get the latest tariff, and then he'll create a code for you without you lifting a finger. He'll just automatically do all that. He'll give you a code. Adam, do you like this code? Hit yes, send it to the customer. Boom, yes, it'll go to the customer. You don't like it, make edits, hit send, right? So what would have taken you 45 to 15 minutes in a well-organized enterprise takes you less than 5 minutes.
Right.
To create a code, right? So anyway, so that was cool. They had other genies. The one that I thought was most impressive is a licensed genie, because this is a very common problem in mids and large size organization. Right? They have 67 systems. Nobody knows. Finance guys paying the bills. So many times what happens is they'll create an account for Bob. Bob doesn't really use it. Right? One day Bob throws this hissy fit saying, I need an account. So they create an account for Bob, but Bob doesn't use it. Right? But they're paying for Bob every month.
Every month.
$10. 16 years later, that adds up to a lot of money.
Right.
So this genie, the way they demonstrated is there is this dashboard. Once you log into work, it shows this dashboard and all these charts. And one of the chart was, hey, you're not making any edits to Salesforce. You don't need need this level of user ID. You just need a free account. Right? Do you want me to change your access level? Sure. She says, yeah, sure, go for it. Boom, change. So, I also noticed you're doing something else. You have the wrong level of access there. I can take that out. Boom, done. Right?
It's enterprise level of Rocket Mortgage is what Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah.
So it's that same, but I'll call it an enterprise level.
Exactly. Okay. And then it says, you're sending a lot of emails, and I see you make a lot of spelling mistakes. You want to subscribe to Grammarly.
Right. Yes.
And then it's done. It says, okay, after all these changes, you're going to save $700 a month.
So is the primary lens of focus for this, particular company, is it mid-size and larger businesses, or is it small businesses as well? Because
mid-size and larger businesses will definitely benefit the most because they have significantly more opportunities for improvement.
Sure.
But small businesses can benefit from it too, right? There's nothing that's the way I see it, the benefit for these two sizes is different. For a mid-size and large companies, they can start. For a large company, you start with using the platform like this to, for savings, right? You reduce costs in many ways, and then you streamline processes, right? So that's where you start, and then eventually you can use it to growth and so on and so forth. For a mid-sized company, they're typically in the hockey stick, right? They're moving so fast, things just fall off.
Yeah. And
this helps them bring it all together and keep it all together. It helps everybody move together, right? Because everything is connected now, everybody's communicating, everybody knows what's going on. For a small size business, this is extremely helpful to help them become a mid-sized business without the size of the business, headcount of a mid-sized business.
Right. That usually happens through headcount growth.
Usually happens through headcount, right? You hire, 75 people. Now you're a complete disarray, and then you struggle.
Yeah.
And then you scale back, then you start letting go people, and then you come back to becoming a small-sized business.
Yeah.
This allows you to prevent that whole disarray part, right? Because now you can stay organized. You can have these agents or genies help you do a lot of the things that you would otherwise have to hire 3 people to do.
Right.
And then it helps you grow, right? So you can focus on growth. You can focus on what you are really good at, and then have these genies do. The way I like to explain these genies is, have you ever worked in a company where you wished you could clone Bob?
Yeah.
Because anytime you need something, Bob's the only guy who knows. Bob's not even in that department, right? Bob's moved on 7 layers, but he's the only one who knows how to do this. A genie is a clone of Bob.
Yeah.
Only better. Because genie
24/7.
24/7.
Well, they don't complain.
No performance reviews.
No complaining.
No complaining.
They're not
out. Don't get all this.
They don't go out and golf.
They don't go out and golf.
That's right.
Yeah. They don't make fun of you when you're golfing.
Yeah.
But
they don't have a slice.
We could program it too. We've noticed your golf game scores.
So talk about, what some of the struggles are with getting organizations to see the benefit and make the adoption.
Yeah.
Change. I mean, everybody's hesitant.
Yeah.
But you were talking even this morning about, I'll call it just the normal barrier, if I remember right. Every time you go into a business, no matter big or small, there's always
hesitancy.
Something.
There's always hesitancy, right? So the way I process that is, everybody's afraid of change, right? And everybody's afraid of losing control.
Yeah.
Right? They see this AI as it's going to take up your control, which is
how the Space Odyssey, right?
Exactly, how the Space Odyssey, right? So, but that is so far from the truth. It's not even funny, right? AI has been in existence in 1956.
Yeah.
1956. Think about that, right? And it hasn't taken over anything.
Right.
It has only helped people take over more things. Right, so that's what these platforms will do. That's what these genies will do. It'll help you grow without worrying about overhead.
Yeah,
right. It'll make you so much better.
Is there some? I guess the thing that comes to my mind is there's some resistance that it may be there, where when you're considering evaluating any software product, you're like, what am I missing? What am I not asking that I should be asking that maybe I'll miss in making this something like this and bringing this into the organization? How are you thinking through that right now?
Yeah, so that's a very good point, right? So I relate that back to change. People are hesitant to make change, right? So they're trying to find every excuse not to make
because they think it's going to eliminate their job.
It's going to eliminate it's going to eliminate their job, or they're going to be held accountable for something that is completely out of their control. And right? So Workato has already thought about this, right? You don't have to rely on me. One is they have this what is called as a gears framework. It's a very robust, very comprehensive framework that helps you adopt this platform and implement genies and adopt AI within your organization without disrupting any of what you're already doing. It will only improve what you're already doing, right? So I can talk for 3-4 hours on the gears framework, so I'll just mention that for now. But the more important thing is, to this conference, they had brought in quite a few customers. And of course, I met a lot of customers just walking around. And there was one thing that is very common. And I have been to many such conferences, right? When I was a Splunk, I used to go to the Splunk conference. And I've never come across a common theme across all customers. Everybody has a different story on how they became successful. Here, everybody had the same thing, and that is just get started. Everybody just said, just get started. Start with something really small.
Self-feeding.
It's self-feeding. Yeah. It's addictive, right? Once you start,
you're like, oh, how can we do more?
How can we do more?
Yeah.
Right. So there were example of Lucid Motors, right? It's not a small company, very large company. They've been using Workato for many years. Zendesk, very large company. They're using Workato for many years, right? So there are many very large. There's banks that are using Workato, right? They say, "Oh my gosh, what happens to security and all that?" No, there's a bank that is using Workato, and banks have very rigid security requirements.
Right.
I know there's a very large company, I won't name them, that's using for treasury transactions. I mean, so security. Workato has been designed with security first. So the cool thing about Workato is the founders used to work for TIBCO. TIBCO is a very one of the first integration platforms, right? Very old, long time ago. So these founders used to work for TIBCO. So they've learned, they know what is needed. They've learned from that, and then of course they've had other careers, so they've learned more, and they've taken all that learning and incorporated it into this platform. I have seen many platforms, right? And I think this platform is a game changer. It's got long legs. It's going to go very far.
Yeah.
What do you think the lowest hanging fruit is? Let's just say small to medium. They're in that middle zone, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not quite big, but yet. Do you see it, the low hanging fruit, as what I call more at the exec level and systems and understanding what's happening with the business, or is it down at the worker bee level where I don't have to look at every email anymore? I mean,
so I look at it differently, right? So it is not. I don't look at it as a role. Is it good for this role or is it good for this role? I look at it, or the platform is better suited for which process needs improvement, right?
Okay.
So DSO, right? Daily sales outstanding. You're familiar with that term?
No.
Daily sales outstanding is when from the time you invoice when you get the money.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Okay.
It's a pretty common. It's a very common problem in businesses,
Yeah.
and a lot of that is order to cash process, right? From the time you receive the order to the time you receive the cash.
Yes.
The more you can compress it,
pull it in.
Yeah.
Yep.
the better it is.
Yeah.
Right. So that it's an executive's problem. It's an individual's problem. Right. But this is an entire business problem. Right. So what I always suggest is think of what is your business experiencing. What are the frustrations your business experiencing? It could be IT. I have to call every 3 days to get my password reset. And because of that, the IT staff is very busy. They're not able to implement Salesforce.
Right, whatever.
It could be anything, right? But think of what is it that is affecting your business as a whole, as opposed to what is affecting this individual or this department, right? And then the platform is capable of doing that for you.
Interesting.
That's fascinating.
It is very fascinating.
I know, how long has Workato been around?
10 plus years.
Okay, so in that 10 years' time, it would be they probably have it, I'm sure, but I mean, it's literally, they've done these implementations over and over again.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting if there is a theme through all of that.
Yeah,
right?
There probably is. I haven't seen it.
Because I think about the adoption curve, right?
Yeah.
You got your early adopters.
Yeah.
If you get them, great, but you got to get the next bunch.
That's right.
Who are those people?
That's right.
Is it the 55-year-old that's got 5 years to retirement and I'm scared to death?
Yeah.
Or is it the young people or not? Right.
That's
or whatever. It'd just be interesting to know.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a pattern.
Yeah.
I don't know. There must be. I just don't know. Like this morning, I was on a call with a small company. I don't know. I think they must be having less than 50 employees.
Wow.
But this is going to be a game changer.
So what did they describe as what they're hunting for?
So they have a platform that goes and talks to various systems already, right? And then, but they don't have such a robust integration layer or connector system process. So they do it manually. So every implementation is manual. Someone has to go, and then it's a painful process for them.
Right.
Sure.
So getting the data out of the systems is again a painful process. So that we started the conversation with that, and then when we demoed the platform, the CTO was on the call, and he said, "Wait a minute, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this." It just exploded into like so many different ideas, so many ways, so many different problems that he can solve, right? So the Workato has in their process, right? They have the typical initial conversations, discovery. They offer what is called as a work jam. I think this is such a cool concept. Work jam is where if you're a client, you're interested, but you don't know if it's going to solve your problem.
Right.
Right. Like you said, change, is it What if? What else? What else? What else?
Yeah.
We do this work jam for free. We'll spend a couple of hours with you with the platform. We'll sit down with you. We'll show you how to connect. You pick what systems you want to connect to. You pick what problem you want to solve. And then we'll solve it for you right then and there in 2 hours. Just imagine solving a problem in 2 hours.
That you've noodled on, frustrated by the last 2 years.
2 days.
Even if it took 2 days.
Yeah.
At the end of the 2 hours, if you don't think it meets your purpose, that's fine. Let's shake hands, part ways, move on, right?
Right.
But invariably, you'll recognize in those 2 hours how many other problems you have in a company that can be solved with this platform. This platform is fascinating. I've never been so enamored by it.
So let's talk about the founding idea behind ANSA Solutions. How did that come about, and then how did you get connected with Workato?
I've had ANSA since 2001. I actually do odds and ends kinds of jobs.
Okay.
Then after I left my last job, I tried to find a job, but at that time, in this time frame, at least in 2025, finding a job for someone like me is near impossible. Near impossible. To compound that, I had spent the last 5-6 years in the DC, Maryland area. I didn't know anybody here. I didn't even know Bob.
Right.
Well, maybe I didn't. Maybe I knew Bob. Right. So I only knew Bob.
I met him in a corner. It's really weird.
Right. So
seriously.
Really?
Yeah. It was Nexus
we used to work
Impact
in
Center.
the co-working space.
Yeah, over at Nexus, and I sat down at a desk and I hear this guy behind me with the headphones and the speaker on, just drilling somebody. I don't know. It was like, why are you late? What are you doing? It was just on. And when he hung up, I kind of turned around and said, that was impressive. Right? And we've been friends ever since.
That's cool.
Plus he plays golf, so that doesn't hurt. So.
So after that, I've been solving these types of problems in the government for 6-7 years.
Right.
And I did a lot of this even prior to that. And I've always gravitated towards technology. I tried oil and vinegar and spices.
just didn't work.
It did not work out. I was better at consuming it myself.
Yeah.
No, actually, that was a good product. I think we did not do a good job of promoting it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So I gravitated towards this. Of course, unfortunately or unfortunately, now I end up spending all my time doing sales and business development and very little technical.
Are you enjoying it?
I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute of it. It's just taking me maybe 3 times longer than someone like you, who's more proficient, who knows what to do, right? For me, everything is a trial and error, which is fine.
See, that's the myth, right?
Yeah.
You can't tell anybody, right? It's like that's
see, I haven't figured that part out.
It always takes longer, always costs more.
Yeah.
Right?
The learning curve is always 90 degrees.
Sure. I'm sure. Right? It just takes.
All it takes is, it's like golf. All it takes is one
good shot,
one good client,
and that's what's been keeping me going. Right? I'll have this phenomenal conversation. Right? And the rest of the week will be terrible. Right? But that's the one conversation that sticks in my mind.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to happen again.
Yes.
I just need to have 10 of those conversations. That's all I need.
Right.
Yeah.
So things are looking up. Things are looking promising. I have great cheerleaders like Bob and others in the ClubWorks networking group. They keep me going. They keep me
focused and energized.
Yeah, they're my cheerleaders. Awesome.
So, okay, put your crystal ball on hat, right? I mean, the tech, where it's going, all those kind of things. 5 years from now, what's that going to look like? I mean, I know what it is now.
Space?
Yeah, just the tool itself. How pervasive do you think it will become?
It's going to become very pervasive. I mean, 2 years from now, right? Like 2027, if you look at same time in 2027, I would say 60% of the businesses would have adopted some form of AI, or more than one form of AI, right?
Right.
Anything, more than one thing. Anything is now.
Yeah.
More than one thing. Like in 2020, by 2020, so this time 2027, there'll be companies very, very comfortable with AI. That's one. The second thing that I'm going to I don't know the time horizon, but if I were to predict in the future, is we'll see less of enterprises and more of startups.
Because it's a lever for them, right?
It's a huge lever for them.
Huge lever.
Right? It becomes very easy. It becomes very easy for somebody to start their own and use all these
It's
AI
nimble
tools.
and quick instead of trying to steer a huge ship. Right.
Much more cost efficient.
Makes the J curve a little more curvy, right?
More
mean, it's just less head count, less.
Yeah. And I think that's good for everybody, right? Because now, like someone who, like me, for example, right? I'm very good at figuring out integrations. I'm very good at it, right? You tell me what your process is, and I tell you how to make it better. It just comes naturally to me. I'm very good with numbers, and I'm very good with data, right? But that's what I've done everywhere. I've always done this. So now I can focus only on those things. So now you're benefiting my expertise. Whereas if I were in a business, if I'm working for someone else, if I'm in a company, in addition to, I don't know if I'll be given the opportunity to, use my skills in the 2 or 3 things that I'm extremely passionate about, because they'll want me to do 5 other things.
Right. Gets diffused.
It gets very quickly diffused, right? So you don't get the best of the breed. You get a mediocre version of everybody.
Right. Yes.
Right, so I think it's a good thing. The future looks very, very bright. More and more people are going to become successful. I think it's a good thing. It's a good trend.
Awesome. Let's talk about you.
Yeah.
What
do you like to do for fun besides play golf?
Golf.
Golf and golf.
I love
golf and golf.
So when you get bored playing, left-handed, you start playing right.
No, I love golf. I mean, if I could.
So how'd you get into golf?
I used to play cricket.
Okay.
I used to play cricket a lot. Actually, golf is a funny story. So I came to the U.S. in
That's a moving ball. Golf's a static ball, right?
Yeah. But both require a lot of hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
Right. So when I came to the U.S., 1998, in Portland, Oregon, there's a buddy of mine, colleague of mine, right? We were talking one day, and he said, I asked him what did he do the weekend. He said, I went on the golf range. I said, oh, cool, I want to go golfing. So we went to the golf range. This is the first time I'm playing golf ever, and I hit the ball, and it went straight. So he was shocked, because he couldn't do that. So we started playing every Friday. We take off from work at 1 o'clock, play 18 holes. Yeah. Of course, it's Portland, Oregon, so you can do that only for 2 weeks in a year.
Right. Ball gets lost in the snow.
No, it rains all the time. It's raining all the time.
Did you learn to like golf in the rain?
So we played quite a bit. Then I stopped, moved to Houston.
Yeah.
Took my club to Houston. In Houston, I couldn't find a foursome, right? First problem. So I couldn't play. Then occasionally when somebody says you want to play and you go out to play, it is so hot. Yeah. It is so hot. It is so humid, so muggy, and so many bugs.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally need a
net.
protective net to golf. So really,
other than that, it was great.
Other than that, it was great. So I didn't golf much in Houston. Then next COVID, my son comes home. I try to get my kids to play golf. When they were little, believe me, my son was shorter than the golf club. I've been trying to convince them to play golf. They just didn't. We sent him to lesson. He just weren't. Both of them, right? They just didn't. So when COVID happened, all their activities was canceled. The soccer was canceled. So one day my son comes home and he said, can I borrow your golf clubs? I said, who are you going to beat up?
Yeah.
He said, no, we are playing golf. I said, oh, cool. So I started golfing with my son. Then my daughter watched us. She said, oh, can I go? I said,
she's
sure.
good, too. Both of them are.
Yeah, they're both very good. My son is better than me. Daughter's almost as good as me. So we started golfing very, very regularly. So now, of course, I don't golf as much as I did last year. I strained my back last year.
Okay.
I'm much better now.
Playing golf?
Playing golf.
Okay.
Yeah. Too many.
We were golfing at Eagle Creek.
Yeah.
I looked at the temperature. When I booked the tee time, I saw the temperature was 50 degrees. And this guy's made me golf in
winter,
much colder weather. But what I didn't think about is looking at the temperature when we teed off. And when we teed off, it was 38 degrees. And when I hit the first ball, I was fine. When I hit the second ball, I heard something. It's like a tree breaking.
Oh, that's not.
And my ball went into the woods. I said, "Oh wow, that must have been a really hard shot. The tree broke."
Right.
But I didn't realize it was my back, and I continued playing.
Yeah.
Through that, I played through with the back, and for 18 holes. Literally played 18 holes with that, and then it just got horribly bad.
Right.
I couldn't stand.
What was the injury?
I have a pinched nerve.
Okay.
Which is still pinched. And apparently there's surgery, which is not going to necessarily solve. That surgery may solve that, but it'll cause 5 other problems.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just doing physical therapy to make my back stronger and see how much I can. So now I can golf. I swing the ball.
Just take it easy on him, you know.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's fun though. It's worth it.
You guys have played a lot of golf.
We had.
Yeah.
Do you golf?
Not well.
Oh, give me a break.
There are only 2 kinds of golfers.
Yeah.
Right? One you see on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The others you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
You never
He says
catch me on
that.
TV.
He says
Me
that.
neither. This is probably the closest I've come to seeing being on TV.
I think I'm the guy. I describe my golf game as I'm the guy you invite when you feel bad about your golf game. Because then you won't feel so bad about your golf game.
Join the club.
I took him to the Boone County outing, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And he said the same thing. Literally, goes off and just straight as an arrow, irons, straight as an arrow. What are you talking about? Right? So give me a break. Yeah.
No, it's not that good. I wish it was.
Sometimes you're actually better when you haven't played a while.
Yeah.
Because
That's
everything
most of
slows
the-
down.
Most of the time.
You don't think as much, all that kind of thing. And then you're.
That's why I like to take
That's why I golf so little, so I always have beginner's luck.
Correct. That's it. No, it's like the guys that play euchre. You've never. First time I ever played euchre, right? Around a table, and the guy says, "Oh man, I haven't played euchre in 20 years." Oh, good. Well, he was BSing.
Yes.
And then they just shellac you, right?
Yes.
And it's like, and he's just chuckling the whole time. It's like, yeah, same way in golf.
Oh, what's Trump? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
Jacks.
That's right. Yeah. Oh,
That's one game I've never played. Euchre.
Euchre's
Oh, yeah?
really fun. Yeah.
Oh,
I've played so much. I have so many cards.
that's a Hoosier thing, I think, or Midwest thing.
Midwest thing. I've never played euchre.
Yeah. Simple.
So, are you enjoying Central Indiana? Being here in Indianapolis?
I've been here for more than 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
More
still
than
enjoying
12
it?
years.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is it home now?
It is home now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Besides, I have 2 kids here, so
Yeah.
I don't have a choice.
They keep you young.
Are
Wow.
college or not yet?
No, they're both out. They're both done.
Okay. What are they
That's
doing?
right. She
Daughter works at BHI.
Okay. What is
always
BHA
been-
or BHI?
I was afraid you'd ask.
No, that's all right.
Behavioral
They
Health
do.
Institute.
They are into senior living.
Okay.
They're all over. There's 7 or 8. They own the GCI
Oh yeah.
or own something, right? They have something to do with GCI.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's always been a nonprofit, and she loves being a nonprofit. My son did his actuarial science from Purdue, and then he's working at Humana.
Okay. That makes
Gotcha.
sense. Yeah.
Smart
Awesome.
actuaries.
Yeah.
Any
That's
last
some- that's some
questions?
tough-
I keep telling him that actuarial science is probably one of the first industries
Correct. Impacted.
will be impacted by AI.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Eliminated by AI.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all
Because-
data and data science.
But the-
Yeah, it's
But the smart ones,
statistics and
The smart ones.
the smart ones will stay,
Smart ones,
right?
you know.
Somebody's got to tell it what to do.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway. How do people reach you?
How do people reach me? My website is ANSA.Solutions.
And that's ANSA.
Yeah,
Dot
ANSA. That's my kids' names.
Okay.
ANSA.Solutions. There is no .com or anything. It's just
Nice.
ANSA.Solutions. There's a contact form. That's the easiest way to reach me, or you can find me on LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Sundaresh Ramanathan.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you for
bet.
having me.
Have a good one. Thanks all.
Let's go!